What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. Kind of cool to get the old format. If you've been watching for a long time, I used to have this face cam. This video, I kind of want to more just talk to you about beta. So we got wide release now, wide release. We're going to go over all the details of that and why some people still, even though it's wide release, don't have access to beta, even though maybe they've paid for full self-driving or doing the subscription. And we'll just do a drive here. I just put some random destination in. I really have no idea what the car's going to do. So there's a few things I want to touch on about wide release and, like I said, why some people aren't getting it. So the first thing is, some weirdness with the car there, which we'll also talk about. Sorry, the format may be a tiny different. I may cut here and there because I still have a bit of a cough, so if I cough, I want to cut that out for you. So I'm not taking away any weirdness, which I'm kind of hoping we'll see some weirdness on this drive. But anyway, the first thing I want to talk about, let's go to the software here. So if you are driving a Tesla, there's kind of two software versions. There's like the base main software version the car is on, and then there's the beta version. There's the version of beta that we're running. So right now, really nice left there. If we look at this screen, we can see we are on software 10.69.3.1. Okay, sorry, I realized I screwed that up and I had to clear my throat. So we're not looking at 10.69.3.1. That's the beta version. What I want to focus on is the 2022.36.20. But mostly those first two numbers, 2022.36, that's the year, 2022, and then the week, the 36th week, that the software was at least first started to be worked on. Not necessarily when you or I got it. That's kind of the base software version. Beta is always behind non-beta cars, at least as of the making of this video, in what base software it's based on. So on top of that, we're on beta 10.69.3.1, whatever. Now, if you are on 2022.40, which is the latest update, again, as of the recording of this, you can't go back to 2022.36. So even if you have paid for full self-driving or you started subscribing, you can't go backwards. So you cannot be put onto beta because you're past beta software version. Now, anyone who was on 2022.36 public release and then requested beta either by subscribing or buying full self-driving and then went in and requested it in the software, they got updated pretty much immediately to beta within a day or a couple of days or even hours. So that's kind of the first thing. A lot of people were confused by that. It is really annoying, in my opinion, that Elon Musk went on Twitter and was like, oh, wide release, which is, it's true, it's wide release. But if you had already updated, the 2022.40 was already out when he said that. So if you had already updated to that, you can't go backwards. So now you got to wait until beta catches up to 2022.40 branch. And it's this whole thing of like, so then if I get another update, should I wait, should I not? And it's kind of a tough question. If you really, really want beta, then yes, wait. That's probably the safest option. You might not need to, though, because the next time beta comes out, it hopefully will have caught up to 2022.40, and then everyone can jump onto beta. Now, why? See, cops there. Everybody always really wants to speed on this road. Now, why what happened to version 11? Nobody knows. He basically said on the day before Thanksgiving, Elon was like, yeah, it's coming by Thanksgiving. And then it's like a week later and we still don't have it. It's more than a week later. We still don't have it. He hasn't updated anything. As of now, there's a few very select employees that have it. It's not even the full employee pool that has version 11. It's like a few select employees that are running it. And nobody really knows beyond that, that one leak that happened, what's going on. So wanted to touch on those things. Another thing I'm getting a lot of questions about. And, go for it. Email me and DM me, but I'm trying to, this is my biggest way to address everybody, of course. The report button. So if you look at the top middle of my screen, I don't want to click it because there's nothing to report right now, but the camera that's right above my name right now, that is to report issues. Most people don't have that anymore. So it seems like Tesla with this 10.69.3.1 update, even if you've had beta for a while, if you weren't an original like pre-safety score tester, it seems they've taken that button away from most people. I still have it. It seems all the pre-safety score people still have it, at least for now. If you're new or you're going to get beta, that button's not there. So don't worry about it. The biggest thing with beta is just to drive safe and make sure like you don't annoy people around you or do anything dangerous. Like that's the main thing. I realize that you will run into issues, which is what we're going to talk about next, and you want to do something about it. I understand. But as far as we know, interventions and things should still be sent to Tesla. On top of that, Tesla has certain things that they're looking for that they will automatically pull from your car, whether you were to tag it or not. So One of the examples Tesla gave a while ago was, think about stop signs that are like partially occluded. So you have a stop sign up ahead and there's some tree branches that are kind of blocking it, but not really. And maybe that's a confusing thing for the car, maybe not. So we're stopping here. So I'm going to hit the accelerator and I'm going to press the report button there. Tesla can basically poll all the cars and say, send me all the examples of what you think is a partially occluded stop sign, or, you know, with whatever, like 10% confidence that it's a partially occluded stop sign. Then Tesla can go through all that data, use it to kind of fix, you know, whatever they want to fix or do whatever they want to do. So those kind of flags are still there. Or if they want to say, you know, faded paint, or, you know, a car almost runs into us, whatever, anything that they want to pull for, they can still do that. So there's that. Now there is one thing you, as far as I know, must be a brand new Model Y. What are you doing? It's kind of wide. That you can still do if you want. I don't know if they really look at this or not, but there is FSD beta at tesla.com. That is an email that the beta team, when they started rolling out to safety score people, kind of said, like, you can email us. Now, you can email that email if you want to get rid of beta. You can say, like, kick me out of beta if you want to do that for whatever reason. Or if you have problems, email them with great detail. So tell them the situation, tell them approximate time and location, like on the map where it happened, and kind of explain, you know, as much as you want, as much or as little detail as you want. I don't know if they're looking at that. I don't know if they look at 10% of it or 100% of it or 0% of it. But if you really want to do something like a problem you just keep seeing over and over again, send them the email. It's not going to hurt anything. You know, worst case scenario, nobody reads it. So that's kind of the one thing left you can do. Now, another thing I'm getting a lot of messages about is beta screwing up. Yeah, beta still screws up. Now in this drive so far, I've had one accelerator press, but for the most part, like, the car's actually doing really well. It's not, we're not having really no phantom braking. We haven't swerved. We haven't almost run into anything, you know, anything like that. But I'm getting messages of things that are very, so having done this over 2 years and having the car curb a few wheels, not on my Model Y, but on my Model 3, get very close to wanting to bump into, you know, objects or whatever, I'm used to beta doing goofy things. So when it does something that's like goofy but not, you know, dangerous or getting in anyone's way, I'm like, yeah, whatever. So one example that happens very often, when a lane opens up, and this has been a complaint for a long time, the car is not very good at knowing where to go when you have this lane widening temporarily that then turns into 2 lanes, let's say. So you or I would either stay to the left of this big wide lane or to the right of it, depending on where we want to go or whatever's happening. Well, the car kind of can do this in the wide lane. This is just one example. There's a million things beta can do strangely. And these things are not exactly like, yeah, it's wrong, but it's not like it's breaking the law. It's not like it's super dangerous. It's just like kind of annoying and weird. So beta is going to constantly do things you don't like, that are uncomfortable, that may seem stupid. Just take over. Don't let the car do those things. Hit the brake, use your steering wheel, whatever. That's why you mostly keep your hand on the wheel. Beta is way more under control than it used to be back in the day. My first beta drive, it could not even stay centered. If you go back and watch that video, it could not even stay centered in the lane. It was doing this on any like long straight road within its lane, like the whole time. So beta's come a long way, but it is still, it's never going to be done. I continue to say that. It'll always have improvements and refinements. And that's just part of beta. You can turn it off if you don't like it, but those are the things it's going to do. And those are things, if they're really bothering you, go ahead and email that email. Another point to this version also sees a lot of open doors. Another point that kind of adds on to that I want to mention, if you are not driving the car, so yes, I'm technically responsible right now, but I'm not doing the accelerating and the steering. I'm just taking over if the car is going to do something dangerous, basically. If you're not driving the car in that way, or you're in the passenger seat and somebody else is driving, it's never, I mean, I'm confident saying it is never going to be as comfortable as if you are driving. So even if you're not a very good driver, and let's say you turn the wheel too hard or accelerate too hard or brake too hard, because you're the one controlling it in the driver's seat, your body has this intuition of like, oh, I know my leg's going for the brake, so all your muscles kind of, you know, prepare and move around and do all this stuff. This spot usually gets messed up. Let's see if the car can do it. No, actually it should be okay. Your body and your muscles kind of preemptively, you know, prepare for all those moves and weirdness and all that. So I'm getting tailgated by this guy, but we're going the speed limit, so I really don't care. So when the car accelerates, even if it's maybe a fine acceleration. There's nothing wrong with it, nothing illegal about it, whatever. It may not be the most comfortable for you because you are not the one that did it. You didn't kind of preemptively know it was going to happen in that exact way, so it may not be the most comfortable. So just keep that in mind as you're beta testing, that even if the car didn't do anything wrong, again, it does things wrong all the time. I'm not saying it's perfect and you have to be okay with what it's doing. Even if you are not comfortable, it doesn't mean the car did it wrong. It kind of goes both ways, right? And it just goes back to this thing of like, imagine it like if this was a finished product. It's not. We're still, level 2, I'm in control, whatever. If I'm sitting in the back seat or even sitting right here and just like texting and not paying attention, those kinds of things probably won't matter to me. I mean, I might lift my head up and go, oh, that was kind of a hard turn. Anything going on? No, okay, back to texting. But for the most part, those things aren't going to matter so much. So those are the main things I wanted to talk about for like, especially new testers and people that are, have a lot of these. I mean, I've just been getting a million of these questions, especially pretty much every time it opens up to new people, I get kind of the same question. So I wanted to, again, I'm fine with you DMing me, but I wanted to kind of get it all in this format for you. So I hope that answers everything. I think those are the main points I had. I don't think I had anything else, but we'll finish up this drive. We're almost there. Actually, it's been very smooth. I pressed the accelerator once because it was going to stop for that blinking yellow. See, tailgating guy, we got to the red light at the same time. So funny. It's such a different perspective. Like within your comfort level, really, really, really try to let the car do what it wants. Of course, if it's being safe, because there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh, I wish you were going faster, and I'll bump up the speed, and this is the exact thing that happens. We get to a red light. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't need to do that. The car was doing fine. I've learned a lot about driving etiquette and rules and laws and where it's flexible through all this beta testing. It's been a lot of fun. So if there's any more questions, anything I didn't address, feel free to leave those down below. I will answer any questions you have. But yeah, let's finish up this drive. Let's see how it does for the rest of it. I don't know. That was pretty good. Oh, I remembered one last thing I wanted to talk about. I've been getting a lot of questions also about the future of the channel. I think a lot of people, might not care about this because it's like, okay, like make videos we like to see. But since, again, a lot of questions, I've actually been hearing this for well over a year about, well, when beta is done, will never be done, but when, whatever, where are you going to go with the channel? Well, I was making videos about Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving, but other aspects of just EVs in general and Tesla's well before, for about 2 years before beta even existed. And during that time, before beta existed, I was making a lot of videos on the public software branch. So everybody had the same software, but I was making videos about whatever features at the same time other people had access to them. So I will continue making beta videos, especially around updates, but I will be looking for tough scenarios, interesting things, maybe ways to test the car in different ways. I will definitely continue to do that. So, make sure you hit like and are subscribed so you see those future videos. But if you, interesting little fact, I find interesting anyway, if you look at my channel, even though beta, for the past year or two is for sure the main thing I do, out of my top 10 performing videos on YouTube, at this point, I think still only one of them is a beta video. The other 9 of my top 10 have nothing to do with full self-driving beta. So pretty interesting that, those other categories can take off more. But yeah, so I wanted to address that. Videos are still coming. I love taking suggestions. It's been a lot harder the past year or so with like the kids and stuff as they're getting older and needing a lot more of my time and stuff. Of course, like they're number one over YouTube, duh. But so it used to be a lot easier for me to be like, oh, I'm going to go do this thing for half a day or film in this location or whatever. Whereas lately it's a lot easier. I do almost all of my beta videos on my lunch. If I'm at home, it's like during nap time. Like that's when I'm doing the videos. So I'm working towards kind of moving some priorities around to maybe be able to spend a little more time on YouTube. I would really love to do that, but it's kind of a risky thing sometimes. But yeah, that's would be my passion. Not 100% full-time YouTube, but more, time than I spend on it now. Just to kind of bump up the quality, but also to get kind of more diversity in the types of information that I can provide related to electric vehicles in general. Teslas, I think, are going to be the most popular for a while, but EVs in general are going to kind of continue to explode as they have been. Not explode, don't do that. In popularity. Just kidding around. So yeah, I would like to keep doing a lot of that because there's a lot to learn. And I think a lot of my audience is, a lot of you guys that watch regularly are very, come on, go, what are you doing? Are you gonna do it? All right, I'm pressing the accelerator. Yeah, see, we're getting honked at. This guy's like, go! I don't know, blinking yellow. Here, I'll report it. Yeah, blinking yellows have been pretty good lately. I'm not sure what that was about. A lot of like regular viewers are very well versed in EVs and beta and Tesla and all that. But the majority of people, like things that to you and I, or if you're like a super EV nerd or you watch YouTube videos all day or like make them or whatever, things that are obvious to us are like never even heard of, never even imagined for a lot of people. So you got to keep that in mind, and I would like to reach kind of more of that wider audience. So we're pretty much here. It's just a straight line. So sweet. I hope you enjoy. Oh, you're going to pick this lane. Hope you enjoyed this one. I hope this was informative. Like I said, if you have questions, leave those down below. I'd love to answer those. And yeah, you will see me in Full Self-Driving Beta or whatever in the next video. And see, we made it through that light. He honked, and now we're just sitting at this red light. We would have been here anyway. But, I mean, we should have went. Don't get me wrong. So, yeah. Anyway, I will talk to you down in the comments. See you next time.